Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
We didn't really give time for it. Frank had just joined in. Frank, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
let me just say, hey, everybody, thank you for coming to what was formerly known as State of the Con. Now it's known as Horror Con-versations. And we're going to have a really good time with it tonight, but we have an excellent panel of great people here to talk about Carolina Fear Fest and to talk horror, mythical creatures and horror movies. I want to start off by welcoming our special guest, Mr. Frank Sabatella. How you doing, sir?
Hi. I'm happy to be a special guest.
Dude, we love you, man. We're always happy to have you on and talk horror with you.
I love you guys.
If you guys haven't seen it, you should go check out his movie, The Shed. I love that movie. Great vampire flick, very well shot, and a great story. So go check that out now. I think it's still on Shudder. If not, you can find it everywhere.
I think it just left Shudder, actually. I don't know where it went. I mean, it's everywhere, but it's going to another streaming platform. I just don't know which.
Very fair, very fair. As it should always be available. We are, of course, always joined by my partner in crime, the madman, Casey Plott.
What's up, everyone? Buddy? Good evening. I am exhausted and ready to do this thing. Let's rock and talk some mythological creatures.
Damn right. I love it. And tonight we are joined by one of the scary snobs himself, also the host of shows like Horror with Sir Sturdy and Popcorn and Pints, Mr. Sturdy. Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I hope you all are too. My co-host, Jason. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, Jason's here.
I do want to say something. Destiny, I have this question for you because Mick.
Wait. I want to introduce Destiny first. Then let's get to the questions. Okay. Because I saved the best for last. The lovely Destiny is here to talk to us about Carolina Fear Fest and where we're at. Thank you for coming on the show, everybody.
Hi.
Now I'll let you ask the question.
You told Frank he was special. You slid in my DMs and told me I was special. And what's going on, Mick? Who's the special one tonight?
Well, the most of all would be Casey.
Wow.
But I need him all the time.
Listen, I love you too. You're the other half of my heart.
Wait, other way.
Wait. This way.
I don't know where the camera. Frank, you're the director. Tell me where the camera is.
Guys, you should be really good at that by now.
We are not. But of course, he's the.
Ask the parents, who's their favorite kid, and they got to say, "Oh, I love you all. You're all my favorite kid."
Love you all equal, yeah.
I know where I stand with both of my parents.
I take it a little further than that because Casey's my work wife. Now, would you tell your wives or your husband that you listen? It's going to happen. You're meeting John Barrowman this weekend, and David Tennant. So we don't know. Would you tell one of them that they were less important than him? So no, you wouldn't, or her. I'm all over the place.
That was a very
the analogy fell apart
question.
real quick. I'm in the mood for horror, not wife talk. We thank Jason for coming on the show. David's here. What's up, David? How you doing, buddy? And what's up, Radar? How you doing, pal?
Radar.
So let's get started. Let's talk Carolina Fear Fest. That's who brings us here tonight. They are sponsors of this show that we do every month, gearing up for it at the end of May. Go to carolinafearfest.com. Links down below in the description, and get your VIP passes or your weekend passes before they run out, or at the least get your day passes and come out and see some great horror icons. Destiny, tell us what's new in the world of Carolina Fear Fest.
First of all, I like Horror Con-versations a lot. We went through so many names for this little mini monthly segment thing. We had some clever ones, but that one is the most concise. It's good. I like it. We're selling out of VIP tickets. We're planning things for our Friday night show, which is VIP and weekend pass holders only. We've got this ridiculous opening that we're planning with help from the Variant, who run our cosplay contest, and also hopefully some of the guests, including the next announcement, which I cannot say tonight. I asked.
Oh, come on. We're a special show for you.
The contract isn't back yet, but they have it, and they just got it. So hopefully that's ready. So we should have, I think, 2 or 3 more guests coming that we have sent contracts out for, but we don't have anything to say yet.
Well, before we go on with that, if we can, I would love to, for anybody who's just joining us and may not know, or let's talk about the guests that are actually already signed on, announced, and coming. Who do you have so far?
I'm pretty excited about Dana DiLorenzo and Heather Matarazzo. I know it's not horror, but I loved The Princess Diaries growing up, and she's in that movie, and I'm like pretty excited about that. Seth Gilliam from The Walking Dead. We have Tara Reid. She's in the Sharknado series and tons of other, cult classic movies. David Naughton. That's a pretty interesting one. The original American Werewolf in London. So pretty excited about that one. Dee Wallace, Brett Wagner, Barbara Crampton, Robert Mukes, House of a Thousand Corpses. R.A. Milhaloff, I think is pronounced. I haven't actually heard it said yet. He was in the Leatherface movies. Yeah, and the one I can't talk about, which that's my excitement.
I know for me, there's a lot of names there I'm very excited to meet and possibly be able to do panels and interview. And one that stands out for me, whom I've loved ever since I'm a little kid, is Dee Wallace.
I knew you were going to say that.
Casey put it right. She's the mom. She's the horror mom.
Yeah.
And Just Add Magic, right? Like that's pretty recent. I don't know if it really counts as horror. It's spooky, but for kids, friendly spooky.
If it makes you feel any better. So I have this, I collect Funko Pops, and I had this, it's called the Scene, Funko Scene. And it was the moon and Elliot flying with E.T. on the bike over the moon.
Did you buy that at the con?
No, I did not. My wife got it for me for Christmas.
Seen you show it on one of the shows then, because I remember you holding it at some point.
I think it was on TikTok. I did an unboxing, but she got that for me for Christmas, and I loved it. And what I wanted to do was get it signed by Dee Wallace.
Oh.
Now, what happened yesterday? My wife was cleaning, and she accidentally knocked it over.
Oh no!
And it broke off, and I was like, "Well, that's done." And I think it's because she's actually afraid of ET. She doesn't like that little sucker.
Your wife is?
She hated him ever since she was a kid. She's like, he's too terrifying.
Interesting. It's not the first time I've heard that, though.
Right.
So, as we go on, and that's a great lineup, and I know there's more planned and lots going on. What are some of the events that we'll have going on at the film festival?
There's actually news on that front. So I'm a gamer. And I've been our tagline has always been celebrating all things horror, because our panels cover a lot of different topics and a lot of different, mediums. But I want the gaming to come into it more. So we're hoping to get some video games involved, like maybe a tournament of some kind, but I haven't finalized anything there. But we are having a couple of VR companies come out and do horror game demos, which you'll get to watch on the screen outside and watch people freak out in VR. And we're also going to run some tabletop games, Werewolf, Dread, maybe Call of Cthulhu, maybe some D&D. We haven't nailed down the schedule yet, but I'm pretty excited about that. We've got the spooky, the horror sideshow people coming back. Some SFX battles, which you have special effects makeup artists in the area will battle it out and do challenges, either an original character or a grab bag, where we pick out the weirdest things we can think of to put in that bag that they have to include in the look. And that is going to be hosted by Star and Dean Jones of Atlantic Pacific Studios, and they also run the Hollywood Horror Show over in Snow Camp, NC. Nice. Live music, I believe, is in the works. Some other on-stage entertainment stuff happening, Q&As. The photo op should be up soon. That's pretty fun, including a special one I can't talk about. That's going to be a duo.
You know what? For me, it's always a great time. This will be our third year back, and we always have a really fun time, Casey and I. And for anybody watching right now, please hit like. We appreciate you, but make sure to subscribe to the channels, both Carolina Fear Fest and ours, because we are going to be broadcasting. We're also going to be running around on TikTok, doing live, so you can see everything in the event if you're not there, but you should be there. That's, come on. Yeah. But before we go on, we're going to kind of sprinkle in some more about the convention. I do want to talk about mythological creatures, because I got Frank here, I got Sturdy here too, the horror guys who know so much, and I want to see what everybody thinks. The reason I picked this, of course, St. Patrick's Day, leprechauns, very famous. So I figured I'd roll with it. So let's talk about how do you guys feel about movies that gravitate or add a mythological element to it? And let's start with you, Frank.
It depends on the movie, and it depends on what mythological creature we're looking at. I've never actually seen the Leprechaun movies, believe it or not, and I love good bad movies, and it's just weird that it's just somehow always like slipped from, like, just somehow I don't see it, and it's like I keep feeling like, oh, I got to see Leprechaun. But if you take, trying to think what's another good like mythological creature movie.
Well, one that came out most recently, I think, produced by Guillermo del Toro, was Antlers, which is Wendigo.
That was really good. I really liked that movie.
I like that element of it too, because I like a Wendigo as a horror creature, and that comes from the show Supernatural. They did it on there successfely, in my opinion.
Wasn't there another movie called Wendigo also a couple years back?
Yes, there was. I thought that was good too.
Yeah.
And then go back further than that, Ravenous was pretty solid.
Oh, that's true. And I had to watch that for a Real Combat, and yeah, I did really like that. But how about you, Sturd? What do you got for us? You are always watching horror movies and reviewing them. Are there ones that had mythological creatures that stand out to you?
I mean, the easiest one would be Leprechaun, and I'll just go right with Leprechaun in the Hood. I will tell you guys this though. So I reviewed Leprechaun in Space about a year or two ago, and when it came up that was gonna be the next movie, I cannot tell you guys how excited I was for that. And when I watched it, I was just like, I'm just like, how do you mess up Leprechaun in space? And they did.
I feel like every horror movie that ends up in space, and I'm not talking about horror movies that take place in space, I'm talking about these franchises that end up in space,
like Jason X.
But Jason X was at least fun. Like, this movie wasn't even fun. No fun kills, no fun nothing. Like, if it goes in space, I expect them to be ridiculous and at least fun. This one was just, it felt like punishment watching it. Like, you got to watch this movie because you messed up today in school, Aaron.
I think my favorite mythological creature horrors are probably the Troll films, I think.
Yes, Troll is amazing.
Troll
one. Do you prefer the Troll or the goblins from Nilbog?
Well, the goblins from Nilbog were misgendered as trolls, or whatever you want to call them. They give them the wrong name, or
misappropriation.
Yeah,
Misspeciesed.
Misspecies. Yeah, that's probably a better.
There you go.
So, Destiny, you sound off too. I want to hear what you think. What are some of your favorite mythological creatures? You went with Wendigo real fast.
I really liked that movie. And also Supernatural. It's one of the first monsters we see in the Supernatural series. Yeah. It's like first or second episode was the Wendigo. I think.
First one was the Woman in White.
Right. Maybe it was the second. It was early season 1 for sure. I'm a little bit obsessive, so I looked up mythological creatures just now, like Googled it. And they're arguing that Frankenstein's monster is a golem and therefore counts. So I just think that's a little fun fact. I don't think it counts. But
I don't think so.
I mean,
the golem is made from mud.
Bingo.
Ooh.
Frankenstein's monster is a reanimated corpse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a science fiction tale, in my opinion. Like horror, yes.
Horror, science, sci-fi.
But that's like that mad scientist horror. I wouldn't put that.
I can't classify him as a golem. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with that.
That's not my idea. I don't care.
No,
I will not respectfully disagree. I will respectfully disagree and say, screw you for saying that.
I just think it's weird it's on this list. Fairies are also on this list.
I know should be. The Fae are terrifying.
Fairies are mythological creatures. Wasn't there like a Tooth Fairy horror movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In like the mid-2000s. What was that again?
Darkness Falls.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was another one that had the Tooth Fairies in it.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was a weird one. I liked it though.
Yeah.
It was pretty spooky. They have Stephen King's book being made and coming out very soon called The Boogeyman. Would you classify the Boogeyman as a mythological creature, or is that a supernatural element that's you would separate?
I'd say yes.
I think it's told in a tale of like a myth or a mythos around it. So I think the boogeyman, I think
urban
the
legends.
Babadook.
Boogeyman probably gets to be a little of both.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess it depends on how you define the difference between a myth and an urban legend. Isn't a myth just an older urban legend?
Basically, yeah, that's a great point.
Once we decided that we figured out how lightning actually happens and it wasn't an angry bearded guy throwing stuff at us, then
it becomes
no, it was Frank.
Yeah.
Frank
comes from myth
the
the legend. Frank's still busy up there, Zeusing it up.
Yeah.
David says more of an archetype, and I get that. And I would even say boogeyman for me isn't a mythological creature. It's sort of that's a creature that's a blanket. Like you can call different creatures the boogeyman. Case in point, Michael Myers, or they've done it with tons of things. But I also don't want that terrible. What's the kid from Seventh Heaven's name that was in Teacher Mrs. Tingle? He did that boogeyman movie.
No, that was like the Sam Raimi Ghost House boogeyman, right?
Yeah, that was a tough one. That one did not get me.
The Stephen King one is based on is it a short story, right? I think
it's a short story. I remember seeing the cover of it, but I never read the book, so I'm not sure if it's part of a larger anthology or if he just wrote a short story and came out. I don't think it's very long from everything I'm seeing.
Right. It's probably it might be from like the Skeleton Crew collection, if I am remembering correctly. Now I want to go back and reread it.
Well, for you, Frank, as somebody who's directed vampires, I want to ask, not actual vampires, people. I mean, come on, let's be real.
That's the secret. Don't give away the secret.
Well, I mean, I will tell you,
some of them are energy vampires.
Yeah. Well, I've gushed over Frank a lot in his movie because I love it. And Frank Whaley was in the movie and played the vampire, and it was very well acted, very well directed. Guys, you should check this movie out.
Thank you.
But I will tell you, where do you your stance on vampires as maybe a mythological creature?
I mean, I guess you could say they are mythological and they're supernatural. I think maybe we need like a solid definition of what makes mythology, because the vampires have been around in like so many different cultures over so many, probably thousands of years. I think every culture has some kind of vampire, myth. So I guess they are mythological. I always think of them as supernatural as opposed to a mythological creature, but I suppose they kind of occupy both camps.
Yeah, and this is why vampires stand out for me, and I want to see what you guys all think about this, but I look at mythological creatures as sort of tales that come from different countries. I know I'm not blowing anybody's mind with this theory, but it's come from different countries, different areas. But the biggest point between them and other creatures that we hear in stories is it's almost like they are a parable of sorts. Like we want our tribe, of course, like the Wendigo for the Native Americans and others. It's like don't go out there, don't do this. Like the Wendigo might get you, or
I just
this will
Googled
happen.
the definition of mythology. Should I read it?
Yeah, sure.
Cautionary tale is what you meant, right, Mick?
No,
it's a cautionary tale. That's
a cautionary tale for women,
according to the Oxford Dictionary.
What?
According to the Oxford Dictionary, mythology is a collection of myths, especially one belonging to particular religious or cultural traditions.
There you go.
So I guess
I was right. Destiny was wrong, and I was right. It's okay.
I was agreeing with you.
I know. I'm picking on you though. No, so there it works for you. So for you guys, like I know mythological creatures. When I was looking this up, and we were kind of talking about it, I was thinking about like the Santa Claus from Rare Exports was kind of a cool idea of what a mythological creature might be in a different country. That element, something like that. Krampus is another one, which is sort of similar.
The great one.
Yeah, right. Like I think those stand out to me. La Llorona which seems to be getting a lot of movie versions.
Oh, yeah. How about the unicorn from Cabin in the Woods? That was a great one. Or the merman who just slowly flops his way over to kill the guy. That was a fantastic kill.
I guess that would work too. Yeah, for sure. There's not enough good mermaid movies where they're just straight up murderers.
It's true. I want to see a siren song where they legitimately just pile up bodies, just stacking up those sailors.
That'd be awesome.
So for you guys, maybe what's a creature that you haven't seen enough of that you would like to see in movies more?
Specifically in horror movies?
I mean, I guess you can go outside of that, but it is horror conversations.
I really like Murderous Mermaids. I'm very into that.
Right?
That's very fun.
Well, can I run somebody about the mermaids, everybody, before, like, we get so many shark movies where people somehow are trapped out on something in the water. How the hell has no one, and Frank, I'm looking at you, you do it, please. How has no one turned that into a killer mermaid stalking and trying to kill somebody? Like, I feel like that would be so much more fun than just another shark movie, you know?
I worked on a short film. I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to, but I worked on a short film in like 2010, I think. I was the cinematographer, and it was called A Mermaid Tale, and it was about a killer mermaid.
Nice.
See
so
what
it
I said?
Pop that open.
I said, I'm looking at you, Frank, and there it is. He was already ready.
Maybe I'll do it. We'll write a feature version of it, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I think it would just be an interesting thing. Like if you look at like was it 47 meters, or what was the one with Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, the one where The Shallows, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, if it's a mermaid or mermaids or something,
wasn't that like an evil mermaid in The Lighthouse for like a scene or two?
Yeah. There were. I just don't feel like it gets touched on enough.
No, it doesn't. I don't like that movie at all, so I don't even like to ever mention it. But there was a mermaid. So for the purposes of this conversation,
you will break your rule and have the discussion of it.
That's funny. I'm the complete opposite with that. Movies that I don't like, I make sure I tell people so they watch them.
Well, yeah,
you watch Blood Lake 3 times. Jesus.
You're welcome.
Can't believe it.
I feel like
so many ways. Many. They have arms.
I feel like a horror mermaid movie would be really expensive. Because then you need a tank too, right? Like you need the full tank and the underwater filming setup and everything, unless it's all CGI, and then it's just kind of like.
That's if you're not okay with killing your star.
Bingo.
Somehow I think your insurance company would be a little worried about that.
Everything in water is probably going to be more expensive because it's like dive teams and all that. And
then put blood in the water and it's like twice as difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, even in some of these movies, like 47 meters of The Shallow, like it was shot on tanks and stuff. So if you're already doing it, I feel like it'd be a cool interchangeable thing to just take the shark out and do the shark isn't real, so just get a good visual effects artist, pay a little bit more, and get a mermaid out of the deal. And it could be Zoolander as the merman.
Perfect. Merman Dad.
Zoolander.
But I mean, an aquarium in Vegas. There you go.
Couldn't they do it kind of similar to a shark movie, similar to Jaws, where you don't really have to see the mermaid as much, just here and there?
Yeah.
And say they do a sequel, so the first movie people are thinking it's a shark. Second movie, you actually get to see the mermaid or mermaids or whatever. And by then, maybe it'll have a bigger budget. And
I think audience standards today, like you got to see a killer mermaid within like 12 minutes.
Yeah. After you see the portion of like the fins swim by and then like a hand somewhere later, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes in and the full face coming at you.
Or you do something like The Raft
pretty quick.
You could do something like The Raft, where it's and I realize I'm not telling you from Creepshow 2, but The Raft from Creepshow 2, where they're all stuck out there and it was just that sludge. But if you have a fin like swimming past you as you're stuck out there and something, and you're thinking shark, maybe it's her tail or whatever, or his tail or whatever we're doing here, and all about equal rights. You go through, I feel like you could stalk for a good 30-35 minutes where they think, oh man, the shark is just here, it's not leaving, we got to try and do it, and then they try to go to sleep or something because they're tired, and then arms come up and grab them, and then that's your reveal. Did I just fix the Little Mermaid?
Or Splash? You fix Splash. That's what it was.
Fix both of them.
I love it. So Casey, I feel like I haven't come to you a bit, and I know you like mythological movies.
I do.
What are some of your favorites? I know Jughead was one you really liked.
Oh, I love Jugface.
Jugface
was amazing. Jugface is just a ridiculous Appalachian story, sort of backwoods, group of people in society. So I think mythological creatures, hill folk, those are mythological to me because I don't believe they can exist anymore. I'm shocked when I find out they still exist.
So wasn't it mythological?
Yes.
I would definitely say so because of the way of course, not a real thing, but they built a cool lore in that.
Yeah, by creating that's backstory for it. Absolutely.
Now, Destiny, when can we expect Pumpkinhead at the convention?
That's not a question for me.
Cutting back to the convention real quick. What are some other elements that are going to be happening? I know you may try to kill somebody or two people there. Do we want to talk about that yet or no?
No.
No? Okay. What can we do?
No.
I can't believe you're saying that up publicly. Oh, those people. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was on a different topic.
No, not the actual murder.
Wait, what is happening?
Not the real ones.
Were you actually murdering somebody?
I mean, maybe.
What?
Last year when we did it, they got mad. We left blood on the floor of the
Sounds like
staff
you just confessed to a murder.
Oh no, we cleaned up the floor. We missed the shower curtain. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But no, last year we did this big splashy opening. We had a cosplayer do Carrie, and we dumped blood on her in front of our entire line of everybody waiting to get in the convention. We actually just posted a little trailer video on our YouTube. You can see like some clips from it there. It was pretty fun. I got blood on my favorite shoes, but anyway, not unusual for me. You're talking about who killed the Scene Snobs, correct? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
That's where I was going with it.
I did not go there right away. We're hoping to do a little pre-con game on social. We're still working out the details, but basically the snobs are going to unalive. How do you guys want to word that?
We're going to shake off this mortal coil and finally free ourselves so we move forward.
Living challenged. Life challenge.
Bingo. Yep.
Life challenge. I like that.
You out there coming to the convention, you have to solve our murder.
That's cool.
We need you. So we're going to do some fun things with it. And
it just makes me hungry every time you say it.
I know. It's great. That's why the photo will do so well, because everybody will be hungry.
That's true. Okay, so David's saying the blood in the water from the mermaid kills cause a shark feeding frenzy. No,
ooh,
they might, or do the mermaids own that water and the sharks stay away?
Do the mermaids ride the sharks?
I think the mermaids are so vicious. Even sharks are like, we're not even gonna fuck with that.
Yeah.
Or there's an epic battle between the sharks and the mermaids.
Yes, from hundreds of years ago to originally claim this land. Oh, it's perfect.
Listen,
it could be like the Lucio Fulci scene in Zombie. You know, like the underwater. Instead of a zombie shark fight, we'll have a mermaid shark fight.
Yes.
Don't we?
I really like this.
We have an actor from that movie coming to Carolina Fear Fest, don't we?
From what movie? Sorry, I missed it.
Lucio Fulci Zombie. Or Zombie 2, as it's known in Italy.
I have to get with Matt. That might be a surprise. I'm going to hold off on that. Let me talk.
Ian McCulloch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was he zombie? Yeah, he was zombie.
Yeah. And yeah. And some like original Hammer and Doctor Who. Yeah, I think that's original.
No, but that's very cool to come out and check out. Again, everybody, make sure to go down to carolinafearfest.com, click the link, go over and get your
Black
tickets.
Widow mermaid.
Yes.
I like it. Mates with a shark and then kills the sharks. I love it. So, well, I mean, a situation like that is like, we are top of the food chain because we have opposable thumbs, basically. So mermaids would be the top of the food chain down there. Be great.
That's actually that's some of the dialogue right there. That's the researcher scientist character. Yeah, exactly. The researcher scientist character says that line for sure.
So
100%.
Yeah, the Christopher Lloyd scientist is saying that in the trailer.
And it absolutely should be him.
Can you believe the mermaids mated with sharks? Yeah, I love it. Let's do this thing.
Well, if mermaids are a mythological creature, and we've kind of gotten deep into them, does a creature from
triangle.
Does a creature from the Black Lagoon count as a mermaid? Inquiring minds want to know. Sturdy, start with you.
No, it's just a creature from the Black Lagoon.
I like it.
He already has his title. He's good.
Yeah.
He's Gilman. All right. So kind of going on with it. There's so much. Like we kind of touched down on the leprechauns a little bit, and I don't want to ruin it now that I know Frank hasn't seen it because he's got to get out there.
It's okay if you want to spoil it. It's
it's been out for a couple years.
Yeah, they've definitely tapped that research.
It's on me at this point.
I mean, Jennifer Aniston, clearly some of her best acting.
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there. Oh God, I forgot she was in that movie until you just said that. Until you just said that, I was like, oh my God.
But she's one of the main characters. It was huge.
But I was thinking like Jennifer Aniston and whatever that Adam Sandler movie they're in coming out next week that I have to review, of course. But so like old Jennifer Aniston, not young pre-Friends Jennifer Aniston. So kind of going on and moving on to leprechauns for a second. I was watching a movie on St. Patrick's Day called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Mm-hmm. Is a old Irish movie that came out that Disney produced, starring Sean Connery, the Scottish king. And it in that movie, and Frank, if you've never seen it, and all of you should check it out. It's very well done in visual effects for the 50s.
Not a horror.
I would. For the time, I would kind of argue that point.
Yeah,
there are some horrific elements. The when the Banshee comes out,
some of the old Disney stuff was kind of horrific.
It was terrifying, absolutely. But
and back then, like just the way they shot it too, and kind of had this how they had the sets built.
What's the title again? Darby
O'Gill and the Little People. I would argue, and I would love to hear what you think about it if you do check it out on the horror front. But they have like a ghost horse in it because I mean it's all Ireland,
That's
so
cool.
I feel like Ireland and stories I've heard from my grandparents growing up is probably a place that is majority populated by mythological creatures, and then there's some people there. That's what it sounds like on that little island. But
leprechauns and
sure, you got your banshees out there.
That's one that doesn't get used enough is banshees because they're spooky for sure.
Banshees are very scary.
There was a Banshee Supernatural episode.
We can't
That's
do that.
The only thing.
We cannot base
Banshee Charmed episode.
The short amount of movies that have mythological creatures on what Supernatural has. 15 years is proven.
I'm just saying
they've done everything.
There's only one place that I can think of a Banshee, but now two because Charmed. It's underused.
I just said Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Is there a Banshee in that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Banshee comes to take him away. Not Sean Connery. We leave him alone. He was going on to be James Bond. So he actually sings in that movie too, which is scary enough. But no hitting of women, no. I'll tell you that. That came later, I guess. So let's get into it a little bit more. So let's get into the convention, and because I want to kind of cut back and forth between, and then I want to talk to Frank and Sturdy a bit, about their takes on our topics tonight and some movies that they may want to, recommend we check out. So for us at the convention, what's new coming into it this year? Like, you kind of talked about, elements like the music, the live music, which was there last year and stuff. What is something that you can tell us now that maybe new that we haven't done before?
Definitely the gaming area that I already brought up.
Yeah.
We're changing up the cosplay contest a little bit. It's going to be run a little differently so that it's a more entertaining stage show. But the biggest new thing is our Saturday night party, which I'm very, very excited for. I came up with the best costume idea. We're calling it Cadavers and Cocktails. It is going to be at a bar in downtown Raleigh. It is going to be pretty limited as far as quantity of people. Our VIPs get first dibs and 50% off the tickets, so that's pretty cool. But the theme is Come As You Died. So one of the games we're going to be playing is dress as how you died, whether you put on a bathrobe and you're comfortable all night long and that's how you died in your sleep, or, in your bathrobe watching TV, whatever it is. I've got this crazy plan, which involves like latex and mesh and like spinal cord. I haven't decided quite how it's going to look yet, but I'm very excited about that. We're going to play some more games. The snobs here are going to run some of those for us, and we're going to have music and appetizers, hopefully very crazy thematic appetizers. The chef is apparently struggling a little bit with my very big dreams on how that's going to look. They're like, it's supposed to be appetizing, but I think it should look disgusting, but we'll see.
No, it needs to be appetizing. I'm not eating the disgusting stuff anymore. I'm off it.
What are you referring to?
I don't know, stuff that looks disgusting. All right, it's gotta look good.
Sure.
I thought you meant when you came to the haunt, I made you eat something like that.
Probably did.
It wouldn't be the first time I've done that at the haunt. Anyway, yeah, Saturday night party. It's a great time. Tickets should be up next week, and we're finalizing all the good stuff about it. So, and we're gonna play Let's Make a Deal with the Devil, which hopefully you boys are running a little bit for us as MCs, because we'll have no voice by then.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. What's your name again, Casey? For it, I think it was
Lucifer?
like Lucifer, and I'm gonna be DJ Papa Satan or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Why not Beelzebub?
Oh, was it? I thought I liked Satan, but all right, Beelzebub, fine.
You can name yourself whatever you want as this
You can be
character.
Lucifer. I'll be Beelzebub. It's fine.
No, you're
He
a
was always
Lucifer
cool.
because you got that thin frame. It works for you. You works. I'm big. I look like a Beelzebub bubble.
That made it cute. Now it's not scary anymore.
Hey,
I
that's
know.
a fun one. Demons. Are demons mythological creatures?
Yeah,
I don't-
Related
wow.
to
Yes.
religion and myth.
Depends on how you feel about it.
Logical.
I would definitely add them.
Mhm.
I feel like demons became sort of a, taking out all religious connotation, all that stuff. But over time, demons sort of became a blanket statement for a lot of things too.
Yeah.
And I could see that in movies, like, because the easiest way I feel like you can explain a lot of these creatures is they're demons. They're just a different form of demons, which I think is cheap, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I want to get into it with you guys a little bit. What are some of what are some of your favorite movies? Starting with you, Frank, and then I'm gonna go to you, Sturdy. That deal in the mythological, mostly horror if you have it, but we can go with something outside of it.
Sticking to our definition of mythological, yeah, I would say I really do love the troll movies, especially the first one. I enjoy the second one for its absurdity. I'm not a big fan of Krampus. I don't even mean the movie. I mean the mythological creature of Krampus. He doesn't really connect for me, so I don't really watch any of the Krampus movies. I think we could use some mermaid movies for sure. Now that we're talking about it,
Tell him you need to make one, man. It's all you. Get to it. I buy it.
There's really
Daryl
not a
Hannah
lot
back
of,
in the craziest way.
now that I think about it, there's really not a lot of so-called mythological creature movies, unless I'm just going blank. You got any come to mind besides the obvious Leprechaun, Troll? Maybe if we throw in some vampires.
Yeah, I like to go with definitely the Cabin in the Woods. Always, I throw that one out there because it has so many of the different mythological creatures that it uses just to throw them out there. So that was a fun one. Yeah, it's really well done.
One I think that really kind of sticks out. A good troll movie too, if you guys haven't seen it, is Troll Hunter. I think it's out of Sweden. That's a good one. But one that I like, kind of like gravitate towards whenever it's on and stuff like that, are changeling type movies. Like, they all have different names. Which one?
The George C. Scott Changeling movie.
Well, that's a good one, but I meant just like the changeling creatures in movies, like they turn into. And yes, Destiny, I know, Supernatural has done it way more than anyone else.
I was trying to figure out if that's the one that has Angelina Jolie in it, which really was not a horror movie. but also was very changeling mythology.
Was it? I thought that was based on a true story where they switched out her kid, and then when she noticed, they threw her in a mental hospital.
She researches it as if it's a mythological thing, though. Like she thinks it is. You know what I mean? Like it's related.
That's why they threw her in the mental hospital.
Could just been like, you gave me the wrong kid. It's not mine. So Sturdy, how about you, man? What are some that stick out to you that you like, or you've seen and reviewed?
There's a movie called, and this is the bad part because I remember I reviewed it, but that's all I remember about it is that I reviewed it. But it was called The Ritual.
Oh, that's right.
There was like this big beast thing at the end of it that they finally reveal, and you're just like, oh my goodness. So there's that one. I always have fun with the Pumpkinhead movies.
Yeah,
but I wish that I would love to see a remake of those, actually, like those to be rebooted and just.
I think there's one in the works. Paramount announced it a couple years ago. I wrote a Pumpkinhead script. They didn't. I don't think they went forward with it, but they announced another Pumpkinhead, and I don't know where they're at with it, but I'm sure there's one coming.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, it sounds great.
So, Sturdy, the creature you were referring to is a Viking godlike creature of the woods called a Jotun. Jotun. Thank you, guys. He knows all that stuff. Like he's good with that. So I just say what I say.
Moder.
So, and that was you're right. That was a very good one because like it had people they were using as servants, but it was playing on these characters' fears and their guilt. Like if anybody hasn't seen The Ritual, you definitely should. It was a good movie. Now, one that I feel like we forgot to talk about a bit, and I want to see what you guys take on it is the Jinn, and especially Wishmaster movies.
When you said Jinn, I was gonna say Wishmaster. Yeah,
Wishmaster. Yeah, that was good.
You're right.
Now, Destiny, I'm coming to you, and my resident supernatural fan.
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of very famous episodes with that. We just love it so much, and I can't wait.
I think jinns weren't not in movies, but like culturally, like aren't genies jinns, and they're like devils basically.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. The Arabic devils basically.
So the lore,
but then take something from you.
Yeah, the lore is like I guess but the wish that they grant, I guess, is like particularly in your head or something like that. Like you see yourself living that way or getting your wish, and it's sucking the life force out of you. So like whereas you may live the rest of your life in your wish, it's really minutes because it's killing you.
Weird.
So it's an interesting take. I've seen a bunch, but you don't see a lot. David, you bring up a good point. Del Toro loves his goddamn mythological creatures, doesn't he?
Pan's Labyrinth. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just throws them right in there. So
anything that can comfortably kill children.
The Cabinet of Curiosity series that he did was really excellent.
Not
so much.
Yeah, that was good.
Mythological. There was like one I think that had like a mythological monster in the basement or something. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if it was
I haven't seen it.
Mythological. Great series, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's awesome.
Really well done.
Watch over on Netflix. Not a sponsor, but definitely can be. Netflix, holla at your boys. They deserve it.
Get us in there. So we're kind of winding down on towards the end, and I want to talk about. I just want to touch down on the con again, and I want to talk about our guests a little bit and Destiny. Now we've talked about all the new things that are really coming out, and so far we have a lot more coming in the next 2 months or so. So make sure you're there for it. I'm not gonna say anything. 2
months. No, 2 months. Not enough time.
I know. Fair.
I have so much to do.
And we love you for it. And guys, remember, we do the show every month up until, and then we are going to be live at the convention. We will be running our normal shows the Thursday and Friday night where we talk about CFF. We'll be doing special shows there. So I know a lot of the Snob Nation are coming out. So make sure you come out, hang out with us, and let's do some shows. So going into it, Des, and before we give anything out or in terms of that, like information, what's something that you are very excited for in the convention coming up?
it would be the special effects battle because I am a special effects makeup artist, but I don't have time to actually do the battle while I'm at the con, running the con, helping run the con. But it's so much fun to watch and just to see like the characters running around afterward and like just insane makeup. That's always really fun. That's always one of my favorite things to actually try to watch while I sit there and social media on my phone.
I love it. All right. And now, Casey, you've been there. It's going to be your third year here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now,
I don't know why they keep asking us, but I'm grateful. Thank you, Dustin.
I guess we're doing pretty good. So, for Casey, for you, what's something you're very much looking forward to when you get there?
Well, you know me and my vendors. I have a shopping thing. I can't stop myself, and all I want to do is buy more new posters. I've been trying to buy posters all week, and I keep having to push back, going, no. Fear Fest is coming up. I'll find some cool stuff there. So yeah, so I'm super stoked for that because I'm a huge nerd and I love to waste all my money.
Did you guys see the art for this year yet?
No.
Is it on the schedule or did it post? Let me double check. It is Wes Flannery Creative did this really cool horror-esque or Hammer-esque old school horror oil piece, and it's really nice. I think it's posting this week if it hasn't already.
All right, we'll keep a lookout for that, and of course we'll be sharing it out on our social media, so make sure to go follow us and Carolina Fear Fest everywhere, especially just for fun horror movie questions, updates, and more. The social media is a lot of fun, and the Scene Snobs are just great, right? I mean, everybody says it. I'm not going to let them say it now, but everybody says it.
Constantly hear it. Yeah, we'll just keep talking about how great we are because a lot of other people have said it. Not that we need to let anybody on this panel talk about it right now. We'll just keep continuing on and talking about how great we are.
Well, Casey, what I think is, so we don't sound so pretentious, I will tell them how great you are. You tell them how great I am, and then it's just right off the bat there.
That's smart.
I love it. So Mick is incredible.
Casey, let's talk to Frank. No.
Is a Toontown tune brought to life.
Casey's great. I love him. I want to talk to our guests. I want to start with you, Frank, and gush over you a bit. Like we met a few years ago. After the shed, I was like, I got to reach out to this guy because I just love this movie so much.
Thank you.
And I did not know you did a mermaid short, and now I'm gonna go and find it because I love your.
I didn't direct it. I just I was the cinematographer on it,
which is my favorite part.
and I don't even know where it can be found, but good luck.
I'm gonna find the director's name.
You check my IMDb. I'm pretty sure it's on there, and you can go from there.
So tell us, what are you working on now? Anything going on, and what should we look out for? And where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Frank Sabatella. That's my only social media, so sorry, but get me there. I'm working on a slasher movie that I'm writing, a feature. Still in the first draft, but it's going to be pretty awesome. It's revolving around the resurrection of a satanic murderer at a abandoned lakeside resort. So I want to just be real blood and guts and have some cool Satanism and a lot of weird shit going on.
Well, everybody, make sure you use hashtag Kill the Scene Snobs so that way Frank will see it and put us in his movie and kill us. I don't want to survive anything.
Murder all day.
I was gonna say you had me at slasher.
Yeah,
I love slasher.
My favorite number one subgenre for me in horror.
Oh yeah, man.
Nice. I'm going to connect you too because I think you'd have a lot of fun with Sturdy on his show. He's a great time.
Cool. Every 10 years there's like the slasher turnover. Like slashers like go out of style, and then 10 years later they're like totally back, and I love it. So I want to ride right into this 10-year slasher cycle.
And the nice part, I like
back in the middle.
But even like when they kind of like die down a little bit in popularity, they still never go away. We still get slasher movies, and I think that's where you get those ones that like. When the popularity goes back up, it's like, well, did you check this out from 2 years ago?
Yeah. Slasher movies are like the quintessential horror movie. I feel like people that don't know horror movies, if you're like, if you say horror movie, they just think of slasher movies, Yeah. And I think slasher movies tend to be the most like fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so Sturdy, tell us about your shows. Let's get into it, what nights they are, where people can find you, what you talk about generally. Don't worry about the scary snobs. I want to hear about your shows, Horror Sir Sturdy and Popcorn and Pints.
All right, well, I'll start off with Popcorn and Pints because it's non-horror. Get that out the way. We usually do 2 movies every Saturday. If we remember, we try to make up our own ways of how these 2 movies connect. And every Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern time, we're reviewing these movies over on Popcorn and Pints, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other places. I can't even think of everywhere now. And last week, I will tell you what we did. We decided that it would be a good weekend to just stream on all of our platforms and do the Pocky Chip for the second time. And it was stupid the second time, but you guys can go see that as well. I did terrible.
It was a lot of fun to watch. You looked awful.
Did you hear my wife?
No, what's that?
At all.
Everybody was giving you so much grief.
Everybody was like, yo, who was that instigated in the background? Was that your wife? I was like, yes. I'll play it myself. But
oh goodness.
Great time though. Great time. Well, for the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. And go check it out. Let's talk about Horror Research 30 real quick and the format of that. That's every Tuesday and Thursday night they're live, correct?
Yes, sir. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, we're live on there. And then I also do watch parties over on Stream Lounge Wednesdays at 6:30, Fridays at 8:30 with Horror Research 30. Mostly, sometimes I do it with Popcorn and Pints, so I'll switch the Fridays up, but Wednesday's always horror. Wednesday's gonna be like anytime a new horror show comes out that's connected with that streaming platform, I'll be streaming those. And I just love it, man. This is such a great time. And as much work as it is in podcasting, which Mick and Casey, it still doesn't feel like for me, it doesn't feel like work. I'm just like, I finally get to sit down and make my schedule and do this. I'm out of the stupid office that's wasting my time.
I definitely, it's a love. As crazy as it can be, it's there's so much love for it. But it's the dream, man. We're all doing our thing, and we're living the life that we choose for ourselves. Casey's living a life for everybody because that dude does everything. I feel bad for him because the guy was working all day and I still bugged him. I was like, you gotta be on.
Of course, man. That's what we do. I love seeing everybody. I get to hang out with Destiny and Sturdy and Frank. I never get to hang out with these folks. It's great to see y'all. This is fantastic.
Does put up with me a lot, so.
Well, I mean, we have a cuddle thing going on, so it's a whole different thing.
Nothing wrong with that. Don't shame us, Destiny.
I said, "Aw, it's cute."
I said, "Aw, he's gonna die in that big bear's arms." Don't give me cocaine because we saw how that goes.
Let me tell you what.
I still haven't seen that yet.
Oh my god!
Is cocaine bear a mythological creature? Can we figure this out now?
I don't think
that was fairy dust.
No.
Yeah, he's enchanted. It's fairy dust.
That says mad scientist who's enhanced by chemicals.
I do have an answer to the question: what creature would you want to see a movie of?
Yeah,
and that's the basilisk.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I want to see a. Forgive me, you guys are gonna hate me for this. Harry Potter, the second movie, the big snake, the basilisk, freezes people with its eyeballs. I want a cerebral, paralyzed. Like you get paralyzed and then you get murdered, right, by this giant snake creature. And it's very like sleep paralysis sort of experiencing it, even though you can't move. That's what I want to see. It would be terrifying. Yeah.
I mean, what you guys will learn about me is I'll watch anything horror related. I'm probably never going to learn my lesson. But it's the reason why I do it though is because whether you love the movies or you hate them, it is someone's art, it is someone's creation. And even though you guys know how I feel about Blood Lake, I never say anything nice about it. I do want to own the rights to it for whatever weird reason.
I hope you do one day, man. I hope you do. And actually, you bring up a great point, and I want to point this out. Frank, you own the rights to a movie. I'd love for you to tell us about and where we can find it.
I did the re-release working with Vinegar Syndrome and Bleeding Skull on Boarding House. Now, Boarding House is a 1982 slasher movie that was shot on beta and only released on beta for home video. But then they also transferred the beta tape to 35 millimeter for its theatrical run in 1982. I ended up through a series of lucky events and whatnot with a partner of mine getting the rights to Boarding House. We found the 35 millimeter version, the only one that exists, and we did this incredible scan. You can get it from Vinegar Syndrome, put it out on Blu-ray, both versions. There's the 35 millimeter version and the shot on video VHS release version. It's remastered. It's gorgeous. It's got a ton of extras on it. So get that from Vinegar Syndrome. And then also, I think it's still available on a VHS release that we did through Retro Release Video. And I think that's the website, retroreleasevideo.com. And if you like slasher movies and you like bad, yes, 1982, David Gregory. If you like slasher movies and like good, bad horror movies that are shot on video, this is definitely a movie you want to see.
That's so cool.
With an awesome new wave soundtrack.
It's isn't
Love
it
that.
It's
Yes.
astounding how many lost movies, and I'm not saying The Boarding House was lost,
Oh,
but
it
like
was pretty lost. You could consider that lost.
yeah, like I mean they're coming back now, and I love it because like what was it, New York Ninja came out like a year or two ago, and it was just a movie that was shot in the 80s that never put together, was on a shelf. And we're finding more and more of that. I absolutely love that these movies are getting out, no matter what you think of them. And I'm talking mostly about New York Ninja, but no matter what you think.
Familiar with Bleeding Skull, or if your audience would ever, definitely check out bleedingskull.com, because that dude just like reviews tons of awesome shot on video, like totally lost underground movies. And I think there's another company, what's it called? Terror Vision. That dude does some awesome releases. That's a great website. I don't even know him, but I love what they're doing over there. He does like vinyl releases of like lost movies, and he's got like Blu-rays of, I mean, horror movies I've never even heard of from like 70s, 80s. Check that stuff out. If you're into the really lost cult stuff, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here on the Vinegar Syndrome right now. It's fantastic. They've got some really cool stuff. So
yeah, Vinegar Syndrome's been doing some great things for finding like old movies and restoring them and bringing them into like the forefront for Blu-ray or DVD even. So they've been doing a great job. Bleeding Skull, I'll definitely check out, in Terror Vision. We should try and get them on the showcase.
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Vinegar Syndrome. I worked with Joe Ziemba from Bleeding Skull, and he's also somehow related to Vinegar Syndrome and AGFA. So it's just this whole like partnership that we put together, and just they were like totally into Boarding House. They had the print and got it cleaned up. They did the scan. I mean, it looks dope. It looks so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so great. Everybody go check out, and I'm going to link that below too, so you can get a copy of it, but go get Boarding House, check it out, support Frank and his partner on this, because it's important to do that, and definitely bring these movies back to the forefront, especially for horror fans.
Yes.
Now we're gonna let you guys go, Frank and Sturdy, and because we're going to show a couple of videos now and then kind of sign off on the convention. Cool. I truly appreciate you, Frank. Every time you come on, it's always great to talk to you, my friend. And we will get you on again soon, because I have some fun conversations.
Yeah, so grateful to talk to you, man. Always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you. I love being here. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much, Frank. Appreciate you. And Sturdy, we love you too, buddy. I know you got a show at 9, and that show is on the Scene Snobs channel. You can go check it out. It's the Horror Night with the Scary Snobs. It's Jason from the 3 Geeks podcast with Sir Sturdy himself from Horror with Sir Sturdy, talking horror. I appreciate them being here and being snobs on the channel. Thank you both for coming so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay,
guys. All right, you have a great night, guys. Take care.
Right.
I absolutely love it. They are fantastic. Dan's here. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. He's coming to the convention. We've been talking about it left and right.
Yay, thank you.
You guys absolutely need to get out to the to Carolina Fear Fest. Honestly, I've been to them all on the East Coast. I've been, and I love them. I can't talk bad about them ever, because Monster Mania Con, Creature Feature Weekend in Gettysburg. There's so many wonderful East Coast conventions going on, and Carolina Fear Fest has been powerhousing over the last few years. We are so fortunate to be connected with them and represent them, and meet Destiny and Stephanie, who are truly fantastic and loveliest women I've ever met, besides my wife, of course. I don't want to
life enriching.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Our lives have been enriched by these glorious human beings we've met.
Yes.
Whether
What
it be
human beings?
No, no, the ones at the convention, not the ones
Oh,
who put
okay.
on the convention. That's a different thing. That's not.
And that, another reason to go is because look at that adorable face. I'm picking on you, Des, but you are an adorable face.
Oh, me. I thought
Yes,
you meant
you.
Karen. The face is
pretty good.
yeah, there it is. Casey's
This
got
one?
it.
Oh my god.
Casey's got the
Why does
Adorable.
one have the torso and one have the head?
I don't know where her legs are. They got lost in the move. On the way up,
You know what? I do want to show the video you were talking about. I'm going to share it now so we can watch it and you guys can get a good idea of.
Okay.
No, it's beautiful. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. I watched it like 4,700 million times today because I made it.
It's amazing. And
It's
I'm gonna
probably
make
a little loud. I'm thinking I didn't turn it down quite enough. We'll see.
Here we go, baby. Look at that. That was great.
Very well done.
And now for people who don't know, I know we kind of touched on it before, but I want to touch down on it again with you guys, with you, Des, if I can, and because Casey and I were inside for this one, so we didn't see it. But when you opened up Fear Fest, Carrie was the one that opened it up for you, right?
Yeah, we crowned our Carolina Fear Fest prom queen, which naturally had a little splashy entrance there. Yeah, it was it was great. I just realized I forgot to put the name of that cosplayer and the artist that made last year's artwork, which was like in the center of that video. I forgot to tag them in the YouTube video description. So that's why I'm typing.
That's fine. We get it. I do it all the time, people. I haven't even put Frank and Sturdy in the description below. Don't worry, they'll get there though. So I always have fun with it. I'm super excited. I know Casey and I talk about it all the time. Almost every day we're talking about CFF and coming back. We love you guys. We're so happy to have friendships like with you guys and be able to joke and laugh with you all the time. Because also I do want to point out, I'm not here to plug it, but they do what's called Devil's Playground, and that's in Willington, North Carolina, every October. And let me tell you something, if you didn't watch the videos that we did, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. Good. We were stuck in that. We're stuck.
I was climbing. I was scaling a fence at one point.
You were.
Yeah, and you got in trouble because you weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't touch the fence.
You touched the fence, Casey. You get away.
How can you not touch the fence when you're being corralled by people into the fence?
And they liked me for some reason. Those demons were coming right after me and like, let's get him in the corner. And it sounded
I keep trying to tell you, it's the beard.
Double necklaces. That's why you were a double target.
So to give you kind of a heads up, and I'm not going to tell you anything about the maze. I know it changes every year, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it. But I will tell you this: the first one we went through, I think we were in there for about an hour and 20 minutes. They wouldn't let us leave. It was very interactive.
To be fair, we know you guys, so we took a little bit more time with you than we would with the average victim.
Fair.
And I really appreciate that, because as someone who never wants to feel average, that was fantastic to get all that special focus time.
Well, you can't feel average. You were the madman. By law, you're not allowed to be average.
Valid.
So yeah, and then so it took us about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm a big boy. I sweat. So I was very dirty and very sweaty through it. They made sure of that. And it was a very arduous ordeal for me.
For more context, we have a first class upgrade at the Devil's Playground, meaning that if you opt in, your little bubble of personal safety is gone, and you can be touched or grabbed or The demons get a little bit more leeway. You can take the necklace off anytime and stop it anytime you want. But that's why he's saying specifically those words. Go ahead. Sorry, continue.
They would not let that happen to me. Even when I tried to hide
I had a
necklace,
spare one
they were
on
like,
me.
You're done.
That's fine.
So I do an hour and 20 minutes in this thing. Come back. We're walking out. We're going outside to get out of there. And what do? Force us back in. And we went for like another 30 minutes.
It was fantastic. It was a hoot.
It's terrifying.
I got to have some great conversations with some delightful demons.
I will tell you, I don't get scared at haunted houses. I love them, and I love what people build and what they do. I don't really get scared at them. You guys got me a bunch this year or last year.
I remember you were screeching a lot.
Yeah, I really was.
I had a much more manly scream, I'd like to think.
He was like, Mick, I'll save you. And then he was like jumping over the scaffolding and he grabbed me. And then he left me because he's like, I can't pick you up.
Well, because the moment we made the turn, I was like, oh, man, we're not getting out of here. Later.
Oh, my God, you did. Well, no, you came back for me a few times.
Of course.
So I will say this. I love Carolina Fear Fest. I love horror. I know many, many of you do. If you're watching this later, make sure you get your tickets. VIP, I'm telling you, is where it's at because you get to see a whole lot more of us even, and there's 10,000 times more than that.
Honestly,
so don't worry about it.
The value of the VIP ticket is just getting better. We're even serving dinner on Friday night for the VIPs.
What?
Like they just get free food. Like, and there's swag going in, and we actually made the tote bags that they're getting. Yeah, so like it's a good value for the price, and I think we're almost gone at this point. Like, and we sold out the last 2 years. So if you're gonna do it now.
Well worth it.
Yeah. So I am thinking that with going into Carolina Fear Fest as we're ending the show and such, what is something not celebrities, things like that, but like something you think people should know before walking in? Just maybe like some good handy information.
Grab a program. Those are programs up there. I have them signed by the celebs every year, my favorite celebs that we have. So that's the last 2 years running. The schedule is in it. Everything that we have scheduled is in it. Listen to the loudspeaker. If there's a change, we'll put it up over the loudspeaker, but take the program, mark off what you want to do, because honestly, it's an all-day thing, especially if you end up wanting to play tabletop games, which we're going to have this year. Then you've got like another schedule to look at. That one has all of them, and I take a really long time designing it so that it makes a lot of sense. So
yeah,
useful.
Casey,
Always
how about you?
used.
What are you looking for the most? Like not most, like because we talked about the vendors and stuff, but like what is something that you can't wait to get back into? I know for me, it's and probably you too, is the people.
Yeah,
like we have so many great return guests that
it's phenomenal. But for me, it's absolutely.
Fun.
I'm just excited to do the hosting, man. I want to MC.
Yeah,
I'm stoked to do. Let's make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I can't believe we've gone and over the years we've gone from hosting the live streams to hosting also panels to now I'm seeing the event.
And
you
the party.
Put a lot of faith in us.
Yeah, right.
Well, you're charismatic. It works.
I'm becoming a better showman because of Carolina Fear Fest because it's like I don't know what I'm going to be doing next year. I got to keep going.
We got to raise our game.
That's right. So guys, we want to thank you so much for joining in tonight. We love Destiny. We want to get her on the podcast. If she'll have us. Have us on our own podcast, you know that.
Yeah.
I will host you guys on your own show.
I don't doubt that. That makes sense. Yeah. No, I believe it.
So with that, I want to just say thank you. Oh, yeah. What you got for me? What you got?
All right. Show idea.
Okay.
Is Doctor Who horror?
It can
and
be.
Examples why. I feel like we could talk about that for a really long time.
Yeah,
we could definitely do an hour on that topic.
Just make that a show.
You know what? We might have to. Yeah. All right.
It's on the schedule already.
We'll talk about this. Okay, guys, we want to thank you so much. Definitely get out there and get your tickets for Carolina Fear Fest. We love it. We know you'll love it too. And I mean, there's people in the chats. There's people on the social media. They will tell you how much they love it as well. It's always packed. Always a great time. They do it in a perfect way where it's just up and down, and you're not stuck in some room somewhere talking to somebody you've never even seen, and you don't know where to go because you're stuck in the labyrinth. No, this is a convention that tells you right where to go, and you have a good time doing it. All right.
And there's random screaming somewhere over there.
That's true.
Who knows why? Don't worry about it.
It's hell on a podcast.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Just keep going.
Ignore the guy on stilts that's covered in blood. Just walk right past it.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
there's
totally
so many
fine.
It's so hard to
And
explain this show.
I'm also really stoked for the ultimate fan experience with Carrie.
Oh,
the ultimate fan
Or
experience.
Christine,
with
sorry.
Carrie.
Not
Oh,
I was
Christine,
like,
yeah.
Christine.
what?
Yeah,
cars-
Christine ultimate fan experience. Any car, any vehicle there that I'll probably be driven over in.
The funny thing is, Destiny heard I'm ready for the ultimate fan experience with Carrie, and
Really?
she saw in her head him maybe like lovingly embracing Carrie, and I saw me hitting him with Carrie. I'm just pick her up.
There'd be blood everywhere.
Yes, there will be blood. No matter
If
what. That
nobody
is
knows-
a guarantee at CFF. There will be blood.
When you're around us, especially down in North Carolina for some reason, we show all our Snobs Nation the ultimate fan experience. We actually have a lot of members of Snob Nation coming down. Now, the reason I say that is we will be having a get-together breakfast for the Snob Nation at Pam's Farmhouse, and we'll get with that as we get closer. But we still have 2 more shows for Horror Conversations. I love that. Horror Conversations, where we're going to be talking about the festival and some other themes and horror that we like. If you want to join in, please feel free to in the comments in the future. I want to say thank you to both of you. I want to thank our guest Frank, thank our guest Sir Sturdy for coming out and being on. Guys, take it away, say goodbye, and we'll get out of here.
Bye. We love and appreciate you.
I need to make her move so that she just waves.
Yes.
Like by herself. Anyway,
Wonderful.
bye.
Bye, guys. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Get your tickets now.
Hey guys, Mick here. Thanks so much for watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back and joining in the comments. But guys, I really want to thank you, our patrons who are out here supporting us, helping us keep the lights on. Really, truly appreciate you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, AJ, George G3, Chris S, Dale, Chris H, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, and John W. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Guys, we have 3 tiers available right now. As of March 1st, we're adding 2 more tiers for a total of 5 with tons of perks. So go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And join our Snob Nation Discord channel where the moderators are keeping everything going and we're having really fun conversations over there and more. So go check it out. It's free to join and just be part of the Snob Nation. And remember to embrace the absurdity. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have tons of great shows coming out and more. Our lives are over on Patreon, but you can check out the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show on our YouTube channel Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and tons more shows coming up thereafter. We have great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, Real Combat, movie reviews, and tons more. We have fun over there, and we think you will too. If you're looking for great merch, go over to the snobsmerch.com store. Use promo code SNOBS for 10% off of your order. We have tons of shirts, mugs, everything. Stickers, all different types of designs. We love it. I think you will too. So go check it out and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at The Scene Snobs everywhere. You can also follow Casey at Planos21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. Guys, tons of fun stuff and new things coming out every day, so go check out our content there. Thank you guys again. We are The Scene Snobs. Embrace the absurdity with us, and we love you, and we'll talk to you guys.